Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Dhayamoy Baladev Prabhu. You ready? Okay. Hare Krishna to all devotees, Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. Today we have His Grace Dhayamoy Baladev Prabhu to enlighten us from Srimad Bhagavatam, fourth canto, 28th chapter, verse 45 to 47. Over to you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So welcome to this morning Sunday morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. So I am grateful. First of all, I am grateful to the management, knowingly well that I am not qualified and I am not a very impressive speaker about this subject, but still they have given me this opportunity for my improvement. And also I am thankful to the Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya team for also giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So today we are going to discuss about Canto 4, chapter number 28, text number 45 to 47. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nastaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtuki. Yeah, Prabhuji, can you please share the sloka and text?
Yes, Prabhu.
So text number 45. Ajanati Priyatamam Yedoparatam Angana Shustirasam Asadya Yatha Purvam Upacharat. Word to word translation. Ajanati, without any knowledge, Priyatamam, her dearmost husband, Yada, when, Uparatam, passed away, Angana, the woman, Sustira, fixed up, Asanam, on the seat, Asadya, going up to, Yata, as, Purvam, before, Upacharat, went on serving him. Translation. The daughter of King Vidarbha continued as usual to serve her husband, who was seated in a steady posture until she could ascertain that he had passed away from the body. Purport. It appears that the queen did not even talk to her husband while serving. She would simply perform her prescribed duties without talk. Thus, she did not stop rendering service until she could ascertain that her husband has passed away from the body. Next text. Text number 46. Yadana upalaheta angrau usmanam pratyurhat hachi asti sarvigna hridaya uta brasta mrigayata. Translation. While she was serving her husband by massaging his legs, she could feel that his feet was no longer warm and could thus understand that he had already passed from the body. She felt great anxiety upon being left alone, bereft of her husband's company. She felt exactly as the deer feels upon being separated from its mate. Purport: as soon as the circulation of blood and hair within the body stops, it is to be understood that the soul within the body has left. The stoppage of the blood circulation is perceived when the hands and feet lose heat. One tests whether a body is alive or not by feeling the heart's palpitations and the coldness of the feet and hands. Text number 47. Atmanam sochativinam abandam Viklavarshubhi Sthano Astleya Vipine Sushwaram Prahuroddacha. Translation: being now alone and a widow in that forest, the daughter of Vidarbha began to lament, incessantly shedding tears which soaked her breast and crying very loudly. Purport: figuratively, the queen is supposed to be the disciple of the king. Thus, when the mortal body of the spiritual master expires, his disciple should cry exactly as the queen cries when the king leaves his body. However, the disciple and the spiritual master are never separated, because the spiritual master always keeps company with the disciple as long as the disciple follows strictly the instructions of the spiritual master. This is called the association of Vani, words. Physical presence is called Vapu. As long as the spiritual master is physically present, the disciple should serve the physical body of the spiritual master, and when the spiritual master is no longer physically existing, the disciple should serve the instructions of the spiritual master. ज्ञानाञ्जनमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपगदामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपादकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं प्रति साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेव श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। सप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So here Srila Prabhupada explains and detailedly narrates the relationship, the actual real relationship between the husband and wife. So it is explained in the scriptures that the relationship between husband and wife is divine. So husband should engage himself all his life to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and wife should simply serve the husband so that she will get liberated. So regarding this, there are so many examples given in the scriptures. First thing is Lord Ram and Sita. Lord Ram, he wants to follow the instructions of his father. Therefore, he had to go to the forest. And in that situation, immediately, Mother Sita, even though there is no direction given by anyone, she voluntarily follows her husband. It is like this: when the husband sits on the crown, the wife is also entitled to sit on the crown. Now, when the husband is going to the forest, the wife will follow the husband. This is the principle laid down. Similarly, Gandhari, when Dhritarashtra, the king, he leaves to the forest during his Vanaprastha after Pandavas take over the kingdom. On the advice of Vidura, Dhritarashtra, he has to go to the forest. And Gandhari also follows her husband. They go to the forest, and after the demise of her husband, King Dhritarashtra, Gandhari also enters into the funeral fire. So, this is the system, the Vedic system followed. And it was followed even in India, it was followed till 1940. This practice of sati was followed as per Vedic injunctions. But thereafter, it became a forceful event. Then, accordingly, the government has to intervene and stop this practice because it was forcefully practiced. And now, as per Vedic injunctions, it was voluntary. The wife cannot tolerate the departure of the husband. So, therefore, she voluntarily used to enter into the funeral fire. And that is happening because the husband was also pure and he was following the instructions. The wife is to follow the husband. And in Kali Yuga, we know it is very, very difficult because of the degradation. So, therefore, now it is totally banned. And fortunately, Srila Prabhupada established our movement, and here we have different practices of Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. So here, Srila Prabhupada explains how the material world is degraded, especially in Kali Yuga. In this Yuga, people are more interested in sense gratification and they are not interested in following the Vedic injunctions or scriptures. So people are only interested, their goal is only how to enjoy the material life. And absolutely there is no value system. Everything is in terms of the materialistic calculations. So this is how the entire world is moving forward today. And here I would like to give some illustrations and examples. There was a family in which there was a brother and a sister. So sister, they're from a very good, rich family, but sister was unfortunately have to get married to a poor man, and because she has to marry to a poor man, their lifestyle was almost like a poverty-stricken, and it was not matching to the standard of living of her brother. So the brother and other relatives, these families, they start discriminating this lady because her lifestyle is very poor, and they stopped inviting her to any of the functions, family functions, and this is how they continue their life. So all of a sudden, by chance, the sister's husband, he becomes rich. The moment he becomes rich, then their standard of living automatically increases, and it becomes even more than her brother's family. Then the brother will come to know that, oh, the sister and her husband has become very rich. Now their lifestyle is actually more than our this thing. So then they will invite for a function to the brother's house. So she had to come. She will come with a bag. Now, in the function, she was asked to go for a dining. Means dining. They will serve the dinner. At that time, she carries the bag along with her and sits in the on the dining table. Now all are surprised and concerned why she is carrying that bag with her even for having a lunch or dinner. Now what she does is she takes out what is inside the bag. She takes out a nice costly saris and ornaments, a gold diamond ornaments, and she keeps it on the dining table. And when the food was served on the dining table, she takes that food and feeds, puts the food on the sari and on the ornaments. Now all of them were very shocked. What is that she is doing? We are serving nice palatable items to her, and she is putting on the sari and the ornaments. Now the brother sitting next to her, he could not tolerate, and he asks her, what is that? What is that you are trying to do? What are you doing? Then she explains that all you have no value for me as a person. You were only valuing the things which I wore, the saris, the ornaments, the bungalow, the status. This is what you were valuing. So therefore I am feeding that. And then this brother who had a poor knowledge, he is awakened, and he feels very sorry about it, and he apologizes for whatever has happened in his life. So this is the fate of the people. Today, modern man is behind so much of sense gratification. People are interested only in indulgence of sense gratification and wants to enjoy this material world. They want to gain big, they want to become a scholars by attaining good degrees in the colleges and having good position in the office and buying bungalows, becoming rich and having a very high standard life. And they forget the real value system, and they're going on this race. So here Srila Prabhupada gives so much of emphasis and knowledge as to what is the goal of human life. Human life is attained after in this 84 lakh species of life. Human life is very, very rarely achieved, and it is Manava Jannam Durlabham, it is very rare. So after attaining this human form of life, people are going behind the materialistic life. They don't want Krishna, Lord. They doesn't want Lord. They want everything which is created by the Lord, because they want to exploit the material nature, and they don't want to be the devotees of the Lord. They want to be masters of the material nature. So this is how man, the human being, he is bound by this material nature, and he enters into this cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. This continues. This continues as long as he doesn't. As long as he is self-realized. Unless and until he gets self-realized, he is bound by this cycle. So therefore, one can get out from this cycle or come out from this cycle by the process of self-realization. So we have to understand that we are all part and parcel of the Lord, and we have to re-establish our relationship with the Lord. Only then a jiva can come out with this cycle: birth, death, old age, and disease. So for this, Srila Prabhupada has established the ISKCON movement, and he has given us everything how to attain the self-realization. So we know that how a devotee can easily, by following the instructions given by Srila Prabhupada, the entire life program is being given to us as ready-made. So devotees undergo every day from morning till night. There is a fixed program given to us, right from morning Mangalarati, followed by Japa, followed by Srimad Bhagavatam class, and taking prasadam, reading scriptures, having association of devotees. In this way, by following this method, one can easily come out of this cycle: birth, death, old age, and disease. So this is what is more emphasis are given how to become a devotee. But general people, the society outside, they don't want this devotional service. Except this, they want everything. And it is very difficult or hard for them to digest this word devotional service, because they want to, they have to accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their master. And the ego which is mastering them, it doesn't allow them to be a subservient. They want to master over the material nature and enjoy. So this is the greater hindrance for the human being. So devotees are very fortunate. Those who are those devotees are very, very fortunate, because they are able to take up this process called Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is always engaging ourselves in the service of the Lord. So when a jiva engages oneself in the service of the Lord, he is happy. He is happy, and slowly, by following the regular sadhana prescribed in the scriptures, he will try to elevate himself. Now there are about 8 stages in the devotional service. From he will start his devotional service, and the major hindrance For us, where we get stuck is at the stage of Anartha Nivrutti. This stage is because we are bound by this material world, where the material world is consists of tamogun, rajogun, and sattvagun. These modes, these three modes bind us, and because we have carry forwarded so much of sinful activities from our previous life, so at this stage, a devotee has to undergo a lot of sadhana, and by undergoing this sadhana, he tries to overcome this difficult stage, Anartha Nivrutti. Once this stage is crossed, then it is easy for him to achieve the higher stages till the stage of bhava and prema. So, in the Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Prabhupada has given us it's a complete digest about the devotional practices, how to engage in pure devotional service. This is what is explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So likewise, Srila Prabhupada has given us so many scriptures, and there are so many sannyasi disciples of Srila Prabhupada who are guiding us how to take up this process. So here in the next text, the importance is given on the spiritual master. So devotees, here it is explained that in the text number 47, figuratively, the queen is supposed to be the disciple of the king. Thus, when the mortal body of the spiritual master expires, his disciple should cry exactly as a queen cries when the king leaves his body. However, the disciple and spiritual master are never separated because of the spiritual master always keeps company of the disciple as long as the disciple follows strictly the instructions of the spiritual master. Now, here Srila Prabhupada explains and gives what is the importance, and he explains the relationship between the devotee, the disciple, and the spiritual master. So the relationship between the disciple and the spiritual master is so strong, and it's binding that there are two kinds of services. One is Vapu and another service is called Vani. So as long as the spiritual master is there present, so we should take the opportunity of serving the spiritual master physically. Now, once the spiritual master departs from this world, then we have to follow these instructions, Vani. So similarly here, Srila Prabhupada, his spiritual master, His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj, gives the instruction that he should take this message of Godhead to the English speaking countries. So Srila Prabhupada, after the departure of his spiritual master, he carry forwards the instructions given by his spiritual master. Similarly, devotees have to follow the instructions given by the spiritual master by following the four regulative principles, which is very important. Once a devotee accepts the spiritual master and having taken the initiation from the spiritual master, he has to follow the four regulative principles and follow the instructions given by the spiritual master. So here, very important aspect for a devotee to maintain and sustain in Krishna consciousness is that he should follow his regular sadhana. Daily sadhana is very, very important, and he has to here deity worshipping is given most prominence. A devotee who is following this standard of deity worship, a regular worshipping of deity and attending Mangalarti, he can gradually progress. So, by doing the deity worshipping and chanting, he can maintain a good character behavior and he can continue preaching. So here these three are the very important factors for a devotee to gradually progress in the spiritual life. So here Srila Prabhupada gives very, very important importance on following the on the character. Character is very, very important for any devotee, and the behavior aspect. So these two things can be improved. I know there is it all depends. We are all gradually elevating or progressing our sadhakas. So by reading the scriptures every day, and also simultaneously preaching, preaching is very important. By cultivating the habit of preaching, we can start imbibing to have a good character and good behavior, because we are under the at least I am under the Kanishta Adhikari. There are devotees also who are elevated to the stage of Madhyamadhikaris and Uttamadhikaris, and for us to get elevated to the higher stages, we need to give importance on the character and behavior. So because this will have a greater impact when we are dealing with the outside world. Unless and until we give importance on these two aspects, it is very difficult for us to set an example in the outside world. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada tells us that ultimately, for us to improve on these three aspects, character, behavior, and preaching, we need to do our morning sadhana, attending Mangalarti and doing deity worship and continuously taking prasadam. These aspects, these will help us to progress to the higher stages in our devotional life. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada has clearly explained in these verses that how a devotee should follow the instructions of his spiritual master. So devotees, they have to follow all the instructions given by the spiritual master. So instructions are very importantly, we have to follow the four regulative principles, our sadhana, and then continue preaching. By doing this, the spiritual master is also pleased, and it is explained in Bhagavad Gita that the Lord is very dear to those who spreads his message. So spreading the message of Godhead is very, very important in this age of Kali, because once we get this, once we have realized, once we get the higher taste, so we tend to lose all the activities which are inferior in our Krishna consciousness. So once we are gradually progressing, we also have to have compassion on the outside world. So that is why preaching is very important. And our movement, ISKCON, the mission is a preaching movement. So for preaching movement, we have various channels. Number one, we can, through preaching, through satsangs, we can spread this movement. And another important channel is through the book distribution. So Srila Prabhupada has established BBT, and there are millions and millions of books have been published and distributed across the world. Similarly, there are so many preaching activities going across the entire world through the channels of Bhakti Riksha, Namahata centers, and there are so many centers across the world, and there are college programs, school programs, and preaching is happening at all the various organizational levels. In this way, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his goal, he has started this mission, and the goal of this mission is that this mission should reach every town, country, and village. So therefore, all the devotees, we have to actively participate in this mission by conducting the preaching programs according to our capacity and reach. So all the devotees have been supported by our temple managements in for us to conduct these programs. There, the temples are so much equipped to conduct these preaching programs and book distributions. So we can take the support and all the help from the temples, local temples, and conduct these programs. And very importantly, now we have started the book distribution marathon. So we should also try to reach these books across through various channels. Book distribution, this is a month where the books can be distributed across, and devotees are now, we can see there are a lot of devotees who are really actively participating in the book distribution programs. Especially His Grace Gaurchandra Gopinath, we can see the scores. The scores are really inspiring. And anyway, I am taking the inspiration from the book distribution scores. And we are also trying, we also have to start this distribution across. And for us, the very important event which is coming is the Vaikuntha Ekadashi, where we can set up stalls in various temples across. And on the day of Vaikuntha Ekadashi, there are so many devotees. So all the Vishnu temples, there are so many visitors, about thousands and thousands of people come and visit to the temple on that day. We have to take this opportunity to do the distribution. Apart from that, there are so many other events where we can take this opportunity and do the book distribution. And we can also visit the nearby temples, or on the Saturday there are devotees who gather on near Vishnu temples. So these opportunities we have to take and start a distribution. As this is a very important month for us, the book distribution marathon, December is very, very important for us. In the entire year, we try to dedicate ourselves only for only 1 month, but there are devotees who are doing this in the entire year and dedicating their life to Srila Prabhupada, and there are book distribution teams who are traveling across across the world, entire year, and distributing this Srila Prabhupada books. At least now we have to do this in this month for at least 1 month of this marathon, so that we can please Srila Prabhupada and the goal and the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We can at least play a minor role in this mission, preaching mission. So similarly, many devotees are involved in active book distribution in various channels. So actually, we are also planning to start the distributions every weekend, because generally we are finding in our group, we are finding devotees are busy in their work schedules, but at least on Saturdays and Sundays, our Bhakti Riksha members, we are trying to come out and do distributions in the at least door to door, and also in the traffic signals. Like this, we can start doing. This is how, and many devotees are also inspiring us. Recently, I had to visit to my hometown. There in the village, they celebrate this Dattatreya Jayanti. Every year they celebrate. So every year they invite some good speaker to give some opinions. So this year I somehow got the opportunity. They asked me to speak about Bhagavad Gita for an half an hour. So I took the opportunity and I addressed the small gathering there, and we also took that opportunity in distributing Bhagavad Gitas. So in this way, we can reach out of city, because city we can see people have been approached from many years. They always tell that we have books, we already have these books, and so we have a very means we have opportunity because people come. There is a moving crowd in the cities, but still we should try to reach. I spoke to Gaurchandra Gopinath Prabhu and I asked him, Prabhuji, how is that you are giving us a very inspired sports. Then Prabhuji was sharing that we are reaching the towns and the villages, because there this distribution is not saturated. So we are reaching the rural areas. There the response is very good. But I am very grateful to Prabhuji, but how he is able to take up time and reach the villages or towns and do this book distribution. But anyway, I also need to take a lot of inspiration from all the devotees who are present here, and also from the temple management, to do this very important service, book distribution, because book distribution is very important in this month at least. So by the blessings of all the devotees and the prayers of all devotees, I need to start this service and do justice for this year, because pre-COVID years I was able to engage all the devotees and do this distribution at least to the minimum levels. But post-COVID, after COVID, and now we are not able to get up, and I need the blessings of all the devotees, and please pray for me so that I'll get inspired, and I'll also inspire my members who are actively participating in the book distribution. So with this, I would like to end here. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity. So I would request the devotees present here to please add if something is very important relevant to these slokas which I have missed, and if there is any corrections, please come forward and do corrections. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhayamoy Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for wonderful class, especially you connected Prabhupada's words and how we can apply that in practice through our sadhana, and also this month being book marathon month, how we can actually please Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara. Thank you very much for a nice class, Prabhuji. Request devotees to unmute their line and share their comments or reflections or questions. And Prabhuji has been always a good inspiration for me from book distribution perspective. Several years back, Prabhuji asked me to come to BTM area in front of that Vishnu temple on a Vaikuntha Ekadashi day. He inspired me how to do book distribution. So hope I continue to get his inspiration. Thank you.
Prabhuji, I only facilitated that event. I know it was with your own endeavor. You came and participated and supported me. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Devotees lines are unmuted now. You can unmute and share your questions or comments, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for giving me an opportunity.
Hare Krishna, Dhayamoy Baladev Prabhu. As usual, you are really silent preacher.
Hello.
You take the big things.
No,
Thank you, Prabhu.
Actually, I have become silent.
No.
Please
Silent
inspire me
preacher.
so that I will start
You know exactly what to take up, where to take up.
So I need to get up, Prabhuji. Please inspire me. Please bless me so that I will do justice to book distribution.
Thanks, Prabhu. Very nice, very inspiring. You share illustrations from day-to-day experiences and connect it, so that's very makes it more real, the message. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
My Prabhu, since we have some time, I think last time you shared how inspired advocates. Any other plans coming up now?
Yeah, Prabhuji, we want to distribute we want to erect the stalls there and do distribution. But this year, unfortunately, they have every year there used to be one week of winter vacation, but this year they made it as 2 weeks. So now the winter vacation is going on, but still we are planning to set up stalls near the magistrate court, where the criminal cases are conducted in that court where they don't have vacation, and other tribunals where there is no court vacations now. So we are planning to start distribution in those areas too.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So many insights you have given. And reality, as Prabhu has told, the day-to-day reality, whatever is there, that also you're giving the knowledge for us. And from very long time, I had this doubt why sati has been practiced in the olden days. But today I got the real answer because of the purity. Now, many used to ask me, but I don't know what to answer properly. But thank you so much, Prabhuji. That long the question which is there in my mind that has been answered today. Thank you, Prabhu. And so many book distribution tips also you have given and is inspiring in each and every class. So we are very happy, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Nitiji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. As usual, every time you speak something very practical, Prabhu. Very nice, wonderful class. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Nitiji. Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, last time, because we have some another 5 minutes of time. Last time you shared an incident or event that happened. That actually, you mentioned it was really touching, right? When the Chief Justice was invited and he spoke about Bhagavad Gita, the entire perception of the advocate forum has changed towards our books distribution and Kirtan, you said. So something like that, you have any other realization that you want to share, Prabhuji?
One thing I wanted to know, relating to this text today, I wanted to share what is practically happening today in the concept of marriages, Prabhuji. See, it is very unfortunate that today, at least in Bangalore city, the highest number of cases today are the matrimonial cases. It has overtaken the litigations across, and it is very, very unfortunate. So there were many. See today, that is what devotees. I mean, people who are they don't know the meaning or the real, actually the meaning behind getting married. And today it is very unfortunate again, the live-in relationships have been legalized. So these are all really very, we can call it as a disasters in the society. We saw that there is one incident where in Delhi, in the live-in relationship, the boy murders the girl and he cuts into 30 pieces and stores in a refrigerator. So these kind of things are really, these are against the scriptures. And that is why, fortunately, there was some lead advocates after, they were really interested in bringing some change in the system. So in our advocates association, there was a forum who wanted to discuss about how to bring some change in this system, because there's so many litigations. Courts are overburdened today because of the matrimonial cases. They get married, they want to get divorce. Now, where is the end to this? And unfortunately, there are, in some cases, there are children also. Now, the children are put into great hardship because parents are diverting, going apart. So, in these cases, so many lead lawyers, they came up with a forum and they wanted to give some, they want to address the government to bring some changes in this. But unfortunately, anyway, we can only say that, but we cannot bring into force because of various practical challenges, which every one of us know that. They want to set up this, they want to advise the government to set up a procedure like this, that before entering into marriages, because now we have the registration of marriages is a mandatory, and it's not actually mandatory, but people are getting it registered under the law, on the Hindu marriage law or Christian law or various other laws. So we want the government to have a system where before getting married, they have to get trained on the concept of marriage. Even our Hindu law tells that Hindu marriage evolves from the Manu Shastra, and the marriage between man and woman is divine. But today it is not that. It is a mere exploitation. Husband wants to exploit wife, wife wants to exploit husband, and the parents or in-laws are supportive in exploiting each other. This is very unfortunate. So therefore, the senior legal team in our forum, they want to advise the government to set up that before entering into the marriage, they have to undergo 6 months period of training. The boy and the girl will undergo a training and then get married, so that the sustenance of marriage is there. So this system they want to implement, and they have given various reports on this to the government. I don't know. We know. I see it is. There are so many challenges again here to bring it and to bring it as an enforcement. So everything is silent. So at least if we are able to reach some through the preaching programs, through various channels, I know it is really spreading, and people are very receptive. Actually, that is what I can see. Whenever we do some programs or distribution of books or do some satsang programs, because we conduct some programs in the association during Ram Navami and various other festivals we celebrate. They are very receptive, and they are giving a very good audience. But only thing is that to a limited number, we are able to address only to the limited numbers. This should reach to the mass. So therefore, if government also takes some initiatives in coordination and cooperating with the legal team, then we can bring some changes about the training the youth, which is very important. Training the youth. Today, youth, they are very important because they play a major role in the future. So this is what is very important, Prabhuji, and I don't know how we can play a major role in this aspect. So we have to pray to Srila Prabhupada and senior acharyas how to bring or put a great impact on this system. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Thanks for the nice class, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Will you have a few minutes, Prabhu? Sankarshan, Prabhu?
I am sorry. I don't know.
Yes, Prabhuji. There are 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for the nice class. Yeah, you are right, Prabhu. When distributing books, we can see that how young generation, they sometimes they are very much, they just don't want it, and very few people they are very interested. They come and ask. So there are two extremes. One is they really don't want, and another is they are interested and try to understand. And there are also very interested people, but they are elsewhere. They don't understand the shastric way of understanding things, the religion, dharma. They don't have a clue also, because they are associated with some other institutions where all these things are not taught. No namasmarana, nothing. They blindly, they believe in some emotion. They go with the emotion and just get connected and they carry on. So I happened to meet one Mataji who was connected with other institution. So she didn't want the book. She already had a book. Then she said, I don't want the book, but I will pay some money. So then she gave 1,000 rupees. So then we started discussing. I explained a little bit. This is not my achievement as such, but I'm just telling what happened. So we just have to be present in that place so that we can give it out. And then that Mataji said, I will give you 1,000 rupees every month, she said. And she said, I narrated to you also, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Dhayamoy, Prabhu. So she started sending. First time she has sent. I don't know how long it will go, but she's inspired to send every month. Okay, as long as it goes, we will. That's good for her. So I told her to at least chant one round so that she's connected. So, but when we discussed, I could realize that, she doesn't know about Namasmarana and what is the, dharma for this age. No clue at all. So that is very worrying that people don't know, but they are blindly connected to somebody. Yes, Prabhu, that is what I came
very
across.
inspiring, and
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu.
No, many youngsters are really, I have seen Prabhuji, many youth are also interested, but what I have observed is their parents are resisting them. Their parents want them to have a status symbol in their family. That is, so they doesn't want their children to take up this or read Bhagavad Gita or buy books. This is what I have seen in many instances. Parents are having high expectations that their children should compete with this to get into professional courses. So they are not allowing their children to access Bhagavad Gita and attend temple programs. This is what I have closely observed. And this is bringing the disaster in the youth.
Prabhu, if I can just some humble submission, just some reflections. You mentioned this is kind of always little. There's so much difficulties in the society, but and you mentioned towards the end that we should also try to do mass impact. I think, yeah, as you said, we should definitely pray to Prabhupada. I was just thinking like how we already have like the solution Prabhupada has given, and by being devotees sincerely, like you shared during the class, by practicing and just existing in society, there is, I get inspired. So many devotees, they may not be externally doing like what we see as typically what is quantitative type of service that we are used to here, but they are well to put together families, children, how they are living as the devotional life in Grahastha Ashram. That itself is very inspiring for many people just by seeing them together.
Yes,
so when we see, I see this particularly like when I interact with new parents who come for Krishna's kingdom and all. What is really inspiring is that whole families they see in our temple on Sundays or festivals together. Everybody is doing services. So this Prabhupada is like what he has given us, that shelter. We may not be able to do mass impact, like you mentioned. It may be something that government will initiate at a mass level, but quality-wise, I think we can definitely continuing like we are a congregation temple, and if we can maintain focus where we do things together as families, we are sensitive to when planning our services that the whole family is presented. That itself is service, because when society sees a full family is attending, like I have seen many times, many places, that's really big impact. You don't have to say anything. When they just see, oh, they are so nicely doing things together, wow, it's a big preaching. I've heard it from many people who newly come. They see that it's a family atmosphere in our temple, and ISKCON is like that. So I was just trying to say, because sometimes when we think we're not able to do mass impact, definitely it can be a little depressing. I was just trying to take some encouragement. Like we have the model, maybe it's not mass impact, but if we continue to do with the full family in mind because now we are more, as Narayana Prabhu always says, we are congregation. In future that Grahastha Ashram, now numbers will be more. So, and it's not a problem only in outside society, what you're telling. Like we have heard from many seniors within our community also, these things are creeping in. And I was just trying to say if we can just emphasize on the family getting involved nicely, that itself, just what I've observed from talking to newcomers, that inspires them. And yeah, that's just point I wanted to say, so that we one is, we are all, of course, many seniors are there. I am taking encouragement, because it is very depressing for us to how we can really impact the society. But when I see this, when I hear some stories like this, yes, we may not be doing mass impact. We don't know at what level it may be affecting. But in our own way, if in a small way also, it can have big impact on individual families, and that itself is big success if we can do that. So I just wanted to share those thoughts. Sorry, it went long.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice, Prabhuji. It is very, it's a very good example, actually. That's why Srila Prabhupada, he clearly states that the ideal family can set a good example. Like how this time when I went to my village, so normally every year they used to call some good speaker who can professionally do nicely about Upanyas. Means they used to select someone from outside various other missions, and they used to encourage like that. But this year they voluntarily requested me, because they requested me to present this. So here what I feel is that, see, when a person with his family, wife, child, will set a very good example among our relatives, among our surroundings, it's very nice. We have to set an example. That is, it sets a very good example to the society, the family. It's very good. And I refer to as mass impact only pertaining to that, to restore the institution of marriage. The government can take some resolution and take some action, so that the institution of marriage across will sustain. With that, I refer to the Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. No, I was just on an individual level, I was saying, because always mass impact seems very big for us to carry that burden.
Yeah. Perhaps it is very difficult, but
Yeah.
government should take some.
Yes,
only
definitely.
refer to the institution of marriage.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, devotees, for wonderful participation. And I think though we want to discuss more, it's time for ending today's session. So maybe end the prayer with Vaishnava Pranam, Prabhuji. Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, devotees, for the participation. We will meet again tomorrow morning. Hare Krishna.